You are about to enter a great adventure.
This is Strutting from Gorilla.
All right, guys, welcome back for another episode of Strutting from Gorilla. This is Mikey Cash sitting in the big boy chair today, and with me, as always, is Big Vito. Vito, how you doing today?
What's going on, Mikey Cash? I'm doing well. It's another morning. We get to talk about wrestling here on Strutting from Gorilla. How can you not feel good?
There's no better way to start the day. And before we really get into that episode today, let me just remind everyone you can find us on our socials. Twitter and TikTok are at @from_gorilla. You can find us on Facebook at SFG Podcast, and you can find us on Instagram at SF Gorilla Pod. Don't forget to visit our website at struttingfromgorilla.com. We have all our feed up there, all the podcast episodes. We have some articles too that are written by yours truly if you want to give it a read. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcast, feel free to give us a 5-star rating and review. We'd really appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Just to give a rundown for everyone, we're going to be covering Elimination Chamber, which just took place this past Saturday. We're going to look at the pay-per-view as a whole. What does this mean for Wrestlemania going forward? And we're going to have some thoughts about it. We're also going to be looking at some of the news heading out of AEW, the whole Cody Rhodes fiasco, some of the other things, just looking at how the TV's been doing for him, and covering some developments with Impact, and maybe some other wrestling thoughts we'll sprinkle in if we have time. So
Love it.
Let's get into it, huh? So Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. It's just hard to be positive. I'm not even going to try this morning, Mikey.
You weren't happy at all when you sent me a text message
No.
Saturday night.
Again, you always say this, and I just continue to be emotionally beat down by WWE. Like, do you enjoy watching Brock Lesnar just destroy everybody? Like, I don't know. That's my question for you. Like, I don't understand this.
Honestly, man, I think in certain scenarios, I'm fine with it. I think what's bothering a lot of people this time is that it was very clear that they didn't have a plan, and this is just completely made up after day one. This is all because somebody caught COVID, like because Roman caught COVID.
It's just
this is what we're seeing.
But here's the thing, like, why even have Bobby Lashley win the title in the first place? Like, I don't understand any of it. There's no need. Okay, let's get this, Mike. All right, think about this.
Mm-hmm.
They're promoting it and they're saying something about, "Ooh, how great would it be for one person to hold both titles?" Yeah, no shit. Like, how about we just get rid of two and have one from the beginning?
Yeah. This is something that they've continued to come back to, and then they separate again. Like since 2002, when the first draft started, they've done this now, I think 2 or 3 times, where they've unified the belts and then they separated them again with another brand split. So this, even the fact that this looked good to them on paper, I think I could imagine Vince backstage when Lesnar was cutting that promo and he was like, "Title for title," and Vince's eyes just probably lit up.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that's good shit, pal. And just decided to throw everything else out the window and throw all his energy into that.
Yeah.
So, they're going to do this because Vince really just thought it would be cool, and they're probably looking to sell tickets for Dallas, because I guarantee that WrestleMania is not sold out yet, and they are looking for a reason to get people to buy.
Yeah. And listen, I'm fine with a lot of the stuff they do. I just, I looked at it like
it bothers you because I think you want those other guys to at least have a chance to shine a little bit in a WWE title match. You wanted them to have a little bit more than they did. And, there was a lot of buildup about what it would mean to have Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar have a little bit of a face-off, and it was just he just destroyed him. It
Yeah.
was just really
You
quick.
knew that was going to happen. I mean, I knew that was going to happen. Brock Lesnar, look, I like Brock Lesnar. I really do.
Me too.
I just, what's the point of watching this if he's just going to come in and win and destroy everybody? And he doesn't need to. Like, that's the thing. We talked about it last time. He doesn't need to come in and have the title on his on him.
He's bigger than the title at this point.
Yeah.
And it's fine when he's coming in and his energy is focused on a singular person.
Yeah.
What he's been doing with Reigns overall
Awesome.
had been fine. It was really enjoyable. I like that side of Lesnar that we got on TV, but what happened in the chamber, man, that it just sucked for everybody else. And because he just goes in there, German suplex, belly to belly, F5, see you later. There's just all these guys, and these are a good portion of them were former champions themselves.
I know.
So it just felt like it damaged the other guys. Lesnar's a guy who at this point has his own he's a legacy guy at this point. He's been around since 2002. He is kind of sort of beyond wins and losses. Like a lot of guys can reach that point where it really doesn't matter if they're winning or losing.
Right.
Their star power is still there. Lesnar is one of those guys.
Right. The only thing I thought that was pretty impressive was when he broke out of the
that was
pod.
Actually good. That was a good move. He just punched his way out of it. Because I actually had the biggest eye roll I've had in a while was when even though Bobby Lashley gets taken out of the pod because of the injury, it still lights up on his pod, and I was like, nobody in the back thought maybe we should just skip that because it didn't make any sense to me. Anyway, it was that aside. I will say the show. I didn't hate the show itself as much as you did. I think there were some bright spots to it. One thing I will say that just kind of annoyed me was the women's tag match, and this is a personal thing, and I don't know why this bothered me so much. Every other female superstar wore the bodysuits because when you're in Saudi Arabia, it's just part of the culture. Women can't have parts of their body showing, so it's all covered up. And this year they actually got some leeway because it sounds like they haven't had to put those oversized shirts on. So all of them got to design their own bodysuits, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
And then fucking Ronda Rousey walks out looking like Cobra Kai. And I'm like, what? And they tried to play it off as though it's an homage to when she won an Olympic gold medal, which is fine, but it just comes off like she's being difficult again. Just do the least amount of work you can do to be covered up. And it felt like there was no effort put there.
No, I don't think she gives a shit, man.
I could be wrong. It just felt that way, and I want to stress that this is only an opinion. I have no idea.
I have a feeling she's probably pretty difficult to work with, but at the same time, she elevates that. When
the match was good.
It was actually for having good. One hand tied behind your back. I mean, I thought that was stupid. I hate that stipulation. Stupid.
But Naomi looked like she did a really good job in that match. She shined in that match. She
they
was the workhorse because Ronda couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, no, okay, so I didn't mind. It was actually really cool because I even said this to you. I was asking you about the women's matches and stuff as it was going on. But there was 3 of them, right? Because you had the chamber, the tag, championship.
Yep.
I mean, I don't even think you see 3 on most pay-per-views.
No, you actually see 1, maybe 2 on regular pay-per-views, let alone in Saudi Arabia where, like you're alluding to, they didn't even allow a women's match the first time that they were there. They didn't even travel with the roster that first Saudi show. So this actually is kind of a bigger sort of point here and kind of beyond Elimination Chamber, but I think it needs to be said. This is an actual women's revolution WWE can be proud of.
Yeah, I would agree.
Tout as their own. They can legitimately tout it as something that they're starting because they've had opportunities here to show progress in that country with the women being more involved in the shows. And that actually is a big deal because you
Yeah.
got little girls in that audience that are
Yep.
there watching that. That's a game changer. They had them on the billboards, which had never happened before. That's a game changer. That actually is. And
Mhm.
like it's easy for us to sort of kind of even minimize it or not even think much about it because of where we are in the US, but that's a big deal. So I think WWE could actually do a better job of almost promoting that one and stop trying to claim the US women's revolution as their own, because you and I both know that that's just a sham.
Yeah. No, Mike, I agree with all of that. I will tell you, and I don't know if you caught this or not, but did you notice Liv Morgan?
Oops, she did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife was watching it with me and she was like, "Oh my god, that's the Britney Spears get up."
Yep. 100%.
She
It
did a
took
great
me a little
job,
bit.
actually. It looked like
Yeah,
she even had the
did.
headband. It was
I
cool.
know. Yeah, they did good. So, yeah, I'll give them props for that. I just was underwhelmed with all of it. I mean, the Goldberg match was what a Goldberg match this time
Yeah.
is. I mean, it wasn't anything great. It wasn't anything awful. You knew what was going to happen, and you just kind of say, okay.
They threw him a bone because this match was supposed to happen 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And
and not
that's
only
why.
that, but I just think it's a big name. He draws money, and it is what it is. But
I know.
I don't know. So those are my feelings. I mean, give me your take on something from
Well,
there. That
I will say I feel bad about Lashley having that shoulder injury.
yeah.
I think that's a bummer. The way they played it off, I thought was kind of dumb.
Oh, stupid.
I didn't enjoy the execution of that, but that does suck for Lashley. I think you would question before why did they even put the title on him, but I think they weren't planning on him having a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
I wonder, this is just a theory, that it has something to do with the 15 German suplexes he took
I
in the
thought
most
the same
awkward
thing.
way
Yeah.
possible
Yeah.
at the Royal Rumble. But I don't know. We probably won't know. All I know is, he's injured. I've enjoyed Bobby Lashley's work. I'll keep touting that. I hope
Yep.
one day the Hurt Business gets back together. I thought they were really good. But some other thoughts on the show. Let's not forget Becky and Lita. They
Yeah.
put on a hell of a match.
It wasn't bad.
It was different. It was actually more technical than I expected, and that makes sense given where Lita's at. She
Yeah.
can't be flip flopping around anymore. That's not her thing.
No.
But she picked her spots, and I thought she did a really good job.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed that match. Again, all in all, it was just like meh, and
I know.
then then you end it the way that they ended it, and that's what irked me. And because it irks me every time, so it
Mhm.
just leaves this sour taste in your mouth. Even if I had a
Even if you
decent,
kind of knew it was coming.
yeah. I mean, I was
What
hoping.
would you have expected? Because I think when you texted me, I was like, this is exactly what I expected.
I
From
would
him.
have expected like Matt Riddle or someone to like handcuff Brock Lesnar to the cage and then win, or I don't know, like anything. I just, if I want to see Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of somebody, I just for no reason I would
Yeah.
watch something different. I
Sure.
I want to see these guys, like they're gaining momentum, and we talk about it all the time, so I'm not
Mhm.
gonna bring it up again.
That's okay. No, I got you.
But I want to see some of these guys. There's going to be life after Brock Lesnar. And I
There has to be.
understand Brock Lesnar draws money, but he doesn't need to be champion. Like, he can do plenty of stuff outside of that. And I just hate the way they're handling it. I hate it
Mhm.
so much. It's almost like Brock Lesnar he has to be champion, right? Because he's
Mm.
got this ego. And I don't know. Maybe he doesn't.
We don't know how true that is.
I don't. That's exactly it. That's how I feel. Like that's
Yeah.
just how I feel. I mean, did you see? I sent you that thing about the Pat McAfee show. Did you listen to that at
Yeah.
all?
So I thought that was an interesting piece, and we'll just touch on this for a second and get back to Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting how he talked about the anxiety that he experiences. For those that didn't know, Brock Lesnar was on Pat McAfee's show, and he sort of admits that he's sort of struggled with anxiety for a long time and how it affects what he does as a performer. Being out in front of the live audience, giving all that energy, and then feeling like he needs to like isolate in order to recharge. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people that struggle with anxiety tend to come off looking irritable, and usually that's because they're on edge themselves because they're so anxious
Yep.
when they're out in the community. So I think
Yeah.
that probably has played into the lore of Lesnar as an asshole.
And I would agree there. And I mean, it makes sense, right? He basically said, like, hey, you know, with this anxiety, I go out in front of a crowd and it just basically peaks there. And so I go and I seclude myself in
Saskatchewan.
Minnesota. Yeah, Saskatchewan. And he's like, I don't want to be around anybody. Like, so I don't blame him. I mean, that's a really interesting take. I never looked at it like that. I kind of looked at it as him being just a dick.
It's way easier to brush it off that way.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, let's be realistic. Like everything even. If you looked at Brock Lesnar, would you not be like, oh, this guy's a giant dick?
No, I'm saying I agree with you.
Okay,
It's a
all right.
convenient trap for us to fall into, though.
Yeah.
Because we're just like, oh, well, he's just an asshole. So
Yep.
we'll just write him off. And like, you don't have to be sympathetic towards him at all.
Yeah. He did say something else, too, that I read. And I want to touch on this because it really brings out
All right.
WrestleMania. But he said, basically calling out the other superstars, saying pretty simply, find a way to draw money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, I don't know the exact quote, but he
Right.
was like, you got to find a way to draw money. He goes, it doesn't always have to be the flippity floppity boopity boppity bips, but like find a way to draw money and put asses in the seats, and then you won't have to bitch and moan, basically.
Yeah.
And I agree, but when you have a guy coming back that just dominates everybody, it's hard to make money.
Says the guy who just came back and got a title shot because he wanted one.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get what I think. Obviously, there's validity to what he's saying. The credibility hurts him, though, because look who's saying it.
That's what I mean.
You know? So I get it. I get it. At the same time, for me, I still go back to this is beyond Lesnar, and these are booking decisions that are getting made. You know, as much power as Lesnar has, he can't run the whole show.
No.
There's still, it falls to Vince. It still falls to that guy when it comes to what's going to get put on TV.
Yeah.
He may not understand all the other stuff and all the things that have happened over the last year with like Mickey James getting trash bags. Like, I don't think Vince actually had a hand in that stuff.
No.
Some of that stuff is just too much for him to keep track of. But when it comes to what's on Raw, what's on SmackDown, now NXT, and a pay-per-view, he's going to have complete control over that. So
I agree.
It comes back to him.
He just, Vince is I'll always give Vince credit for being this guy who is like an innovator of wrestling and probably the most well-known influencer in modern day wrestling. And listen, we could go back in time and talk about all the people that had influences and stuff. And you could even consider Vince like a controversial influencer because of the way he handled everything and whatnot. But his time is coming to an end here, man.
Mm-hmm.
He is missing way more than he's hitting lately, in my opinion. And I just, I get what they're trying to do. And I'm not going to bash WWE, but let's talk about. So we get the Elimination Chamber. I give it a thumbs down. You give it kind of an in between.
I kind of have like a thumb in the middle, and
which is like a thumbs up in reality.
It's like a meh. For me, it's over. Final thoughts on Elimination Chamber itself is that it's exactly what I expected from the pay-per-view in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Yeah. It's usually just sort of a placeholder show. Ultimately, I'd love for them to kind of get rid of it, but they'll never do that. They just go from Royal Rumble and then just keep the story going until WrestleMania. But they won't do that.
Did you notice though on this one, Mike, that two things about this Saudi trip? First of all, I hate the blood money thing. I get why they're doing it. It's big money, and I mean, hard to say no. And I mean, you could also make the point that at some point, and WWE's been pretty good about this in their history, where they're not afraid to go to other countries and kind of almost like bridge a gap, right? Where I get that Saudi is
Sure,
blood
but
money.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like we can feel how we feel about it. The show is where it is. I mean,
But did you notice this time though? So
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this in the other episodes, but so the reason they wanted WWE and the reason they paid so much money for WWE to come over to Saudi Arabia,
Hmm.
and it's the same thing they're doing with the golf league, is they're trying to, I'm not going to call it propaganda, but they're trying to make people feel like it is not this terrible place. And
Yeah.
again, I've never been. I'm not going to bash things.
Yeah,
I
what
just
the
know
hell
what
do
I
we
hear in the
know?
news. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to get into politics, but I just find it interesting. They paid all that money, and if you look at all the cutscenes and everything, it's like people dancing and like this is this wonderful place and da 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 da
Yeah.
da. And
Hey, listen, I think that was great, actually. I like that because I thought that's cool for other people to see taking part in another country's customs.
agreed.
I think that is good for society as a whole to see that kind of stuff.
I agree, but this time around, there's two things they did differently. Okay, number one, they every time they mention the Elimination Chamber, like before they would do the Crown Jewel, it's in Saudi Arabia and blah 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 blah. And this time they just said Elimination Chamber. They made it on a Saturday. Yeah, the time was still messed up, but I think a lot of people never watched the other ones because it was
Yeah.
on like a Thursday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Like,
Yeah. No, you're right. The timing was terrible.
this
I
seemed like a
think
more normal pay-per-view.
I think there are a lot of people that just write off those Saudi shows because they usually don't mean anything. They're just sort
Yeah.
of there.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
you get
this little special attraction show, and like not for nothing, the perception of the blood money thing I think turns people off too.
I would agree.
So they're like, I'd rather not. So I think WWE, in their own mind, it was kind of a smart move. Well, let's
Yes.
make it a pay-per-view that you kind of have to watch if you want to pay attention to the main stories that are happening.
And they made it influential into WrestleMania, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
like so we got this card set up now where we got Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for title versus title,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be your headliner. It'll probably be day
There's
2.
no way it's not.
Day 2 is that usually the one they make the
Probably
big
day 2.
headliner. Yeah, I would say day 2. Day 1 will probably be yeah, I'm
Probably
curious to see what they do for day 1.
Becky versus Bianca, or
Could be.
more likely Ronda.
It's gonna
versus
be
Charlotte.
It's gonna be Ronda versus
More
Charlotte.
likely
I
Ronda
would be
versus
willing to
Charlotte.
bet that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So, because you don't have another title match for the men's section for
No, because it's title for title.
yeah.
But
So you got those. You got Ronda versus Charlotte, which I think is going to be a good match. I mean, you
yeah,
have all the
I'm
opinions
ready.
you want.
I'm actually looking forward to that. They worked well together when they fought at Survivor Series a few years ago.
Well, what I like about that match is that you don't have Charlotte Flair, because kind of Charlotte Flair, I think she's a phenomenal wrestler, but like she doesn't have anyone to feud with, really, right? Like she's always winning. She's like, but you got Ronda Rousey, who's like a level above
Mhm.
Charlotte Flair, which I like, and she's not a bad wrestler. Like she's Ronda Rousey's pretty good, so I'm curious to see how that works out.
She caught on really well to
Yeah.
wrestling, very much like a Kurt Angle, like just a fish.
I would
to
say
water.
yeah,
So
yeah. She's really elevated that division.
before
what
we
other
go further,
Yeah, go ahead.
we
Sorry,
need to
somebody
drop
else wants
this
to
little
jump in.
fun fact.
Okay.
People probably already know this. We've already posted it on our socials, but really interesting fact that Lesnar and Reigns are now going to be the third WrestleMania trilogy in WWE history. They are joining Triple H and The Undertaker and Stone Cold and The Rock.
Which is interesting because I'll be truthful. The other two probably kind of forgettable. Like like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I'm saying.
the other two, the first one is WrestleMania 31, and that one was where Seth cashed in at the end.
Yeah.
So that one's memorable just for the ending itself.
Yeah, but not the match.
Oh, true.
Yeah. And then what was the second one? Honestly, I don't even remember
I was
the second
there.
one.
That was the one in New
that was
Orleans. And
okay.
honestly, that crowd just shit all over that match. They just did not care.
Well, that's because they wanted to see Roman Reigns as a heel because he was being pushed down our throat. It took a long time, but now he finally got there.
Right. We're finally getting what we want, how we wanted it.
Yeah.
So this will be, I think, the best of the three. And
Yeah.
maybe I'm just putting too much expectation out there, but I think with where they both are, Reigns' character and Lesnar's character, I think it's going to be probably their best of the three.
I hope so. I just, how does it go down here? Like, I'm
Reigns
telling you
has
right
gotta
now,
win.
if
I think Reigns has got to win.
he
There's
has
no,
to,
it can't be Lesnar. It can't be.
you know
Even
what?
if
Don't, you can't say that. You can't
I
say
know, I
that,
know.
dude.
I'm creating a situation for myself.
You
But
are. This is what I think in my head all the time, and then I get so disappointed. I'm like, fuck
I know,
this, waste of my
I know.
time.
So basically, here's what I'll say then. We'll see.
Okay,
We'll see.
fair enough.
We got over a month until this happens. So
It just it doesn't even excite me. Like, I like Roman Reigns. I'm fine with that match, whatever. But it's just like I have my excitement for that match is kind of like, meh, like whatever.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
it's
gotcha.
Brock Lesnar. Honestly, Brock Lesnar's probably gonna win. I'm probably gonna leave the WrestleMania and be like, this is a waste of my time. Why do I do this? Because that's the feeling I get all the time. But hey, you know what? I do all the time. I'm gonna have positive thoughts here. Okay,
Yeah.
positive thoughts going in, and then just negative ones coming out. That's usually how it works.
It's like going into a night of drinking. This will be a lot of fun. The next morning you wake up and you're like,
Yeah,
I don't know why
terrible
I did
idea.
this. I feel awful about myself.
Terrible idea.
And I'm
Yeah.
never going to drink again.
Yep.
Fast forward to a week later.
Yep.
We text you and you're like, yeah, sure, I'll get you. Go get a beer
Yep.
with you.
Yep. I'm just.
And
Yeah,
so the cycle repeats.
I'm letting the abusive girlfriend just just
Yeah,
take me
that's
over
the
here.
relationship we're in.
Just let it
Well,
happen. You know, I got
well,
bruises all over me.
well, all right. So we talked about Elimination Chamber, talking about what this means for WrestleMania.
Yep.
What are you looking forward to? Probably the spotlight match for me, Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. Seems to be
Honestly,
coming down the pike.
I'm. So here's the thing. I like Sami Zayn, and I
Hmm.
think he's very underrated. And
Me too.
hopefully this gives him a little bit of a push, and I don't mind him versus Knoxville, because the thing about Knoxville is, okay, I was very down on Bad Bunny, and okay, you can call it a generational thing, you
Dude.
can call it whatever you want to call it. I will give Bad Bunny the credit he deserves. He did way better than I thought he was going to do. Okay,
Yeah.
he really did, and I'll give him credit there. And you know, I'll even go as far as to say, if he were to have another match, I wouldn't be upset with it. Okay. What I don't like is the same thing as always. You got these guys busting their ass that are doing this for a living, and I understand he brings an elevation with the audience, and I'm fine with that. This WrestleMania to me is a moment that these guys work so hard for all year, and a lot of them have been putting up with a lot of shit in WWE. And I get it; they make money, they do whatever they can to draw money, but that's where my Bad Bunny thing comes in. And so the difference with me with Johnny Knoxville is that the line of work that he's in is he beats the shit out of himself for laughs, and he's old now. And
Yeah.
the dynamic between him and Sami Zayn fit. It just fits, like Sami Zayn and him. I just see that as being a funny fit. And I'm curious to see how the match goes. But I actually am slightly looking forward to that one. I'm not going to say it's going to win any Match of the Year awards, which is typically the matches I like and you like, I would assume too. But it'll add a little bit of flair that I'm kind of excited for, which they always have one or two matches.
Yeah, this is the entertainment portion.
Yeah,
of
and I'm
sports
fine with that.
And
I love
couldn't
that.
wrap my head around that, because it's also
Me
not
too.
a huge match.
No,
It's just sort of this will be a sideshow match. It'll probably be 15 minutes in and out, and it will be fine.
What do you bet? I bet you
perfect for that.
I'll bet you Wee Man and oh my god, what's the big guy's name?
I think Steve-O comes out.
I don't think he will, but maybe. I'm thinking Wee Man and the big fat guy there. What the hell, Preston?
Oh yeah,
I bet you they come out. I'll bet you
good.
they come out. I bet you they come out. I think that'd be funny.
That's probably right up Vince's alley.
Yep, 100%. So that'll be one that I look forward to. I'll tell you what else, Mike.
Tell me.
And I know you don't want to believe the rumors.
All right,
but
we're gonna get on this shit again. All right, go for it.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. What are you thinking about this here? The rumors are flying. What is your feeling on this?
I don't think it should happen.
Me neither.
This has been his last match was 2003. It's been almost 20 years I don't think he needs to be doing this.
He
If
doesn't.
this is true, because right now it's just heavy rumor mill. We have
It's
no
heavy.
actual idea. I think there's more validity to him doing something physical, but that's usually what happens when Austin is there. So it kind of fits right in line. And when he comes for 316 day, he stuns somebody. Like, I think that's fine. But if he's going to have a legitimate match, I'm very weary about it, because I think he's one of the few wrestlers that really ended the way he wanted to. Like, he found, like, even though he was in the hospital basically the night and
I
day
know.
of WrestleMania, he still was able to have a good match with The Rock. He was with somebody he trusted in the ring. It was like, sure, was it like a 5-star classic? No, but he had a good match. And I think that's a great final impression of him in the ring. I would be worried if I were him that I would tarnish that by coming out and sort of doing something that The Undertaker started doing towards the end of his career, was kind of becoming a parody of himself. He wasn't the same. And it was very clear of that. So my worry is that he's just going to tarnish him, like, kind of his own legacy, by coming out and having this, one-time match. I don't know. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for him. I don't want people to have a ruined view of Austin by him coming back 20 years later and just kind of shit in the bed.
So I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on that. However, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, because let's
Go ahead. I knew you would.
instead of thinking about the legacy part, because I agree with all of that. I think the mystique around Austin is that he ended his way, and he probably could have gone another 10 years, and
Mm-hmm.
but could he have stayed at the level that he was at? Definitely not. And Undertaker is an example of that, where we saw he went a little too long, and he could have continued for a long period of time. I just think he went a little bit
his
too long.
injuries were really bad by 2003.
He couldn't live up to what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where I play devil's advocate. If I'm Austin, the person, and I see people like Edge,
Mm-hmm.
and Brock Lesnar's a different story, because he's still able physically to compete, and so is Edge. But you see these deals where they're wrestling 4 or 5 times a year, and they're making astronomical money that when Austin was there, they didn't get paid with guaranteed deals like that.
Mm.
So he could come in, be some sort of a regular on. He doesn't. The difference is with him and Lesnar. I just don't like the Lesnar, I'm going to wrestle at pay-per-views only, I'm going to be champion and never show up at Raw. But if you want to be Austin, the premier guy, who honestly, just saying his name is going to draw people. Like, you say, oh, Austin's going to come on Raw, and I think we're all kind of sick of it, where he would just show up at Raw, they'd advertise him, he'd come out for 10 minutes at the end, do a beer bash celebration, and stun people. Like, I think that was just getting old. But all of a sudden you say, hey, he's going to have a couple more matches. You see him against guys like KO, or honestly, I would have loved to have seen him at the time against CM Punk. I think that would have been a really cool match at the time. But I mean, look at, I've heard rumors he has a ring set up in his ranch. He looks to be in pretty good physical shape. I'm not expecting any barn burners where he's going to have these unbelievable matches, but you want to put him on there to some degree and have those expectations of, hey, look, we get to see a guy that we haven't seen in a long time. With the expectation, knowing he's not going to have the matches he had, but he's going to come back and make some serious money. And think about this. For him, the Austin brand is not really as prevalent as it used to be. So now he's going to be on TV again, and he can advertise his beer. He could do what he needs to do. Like, I don't know. This is me playing devil's advocate.
I get what you're saying. I think for me, it's just, it's them tapping again into this nostalgia.
They are.
And this is the very thing that we have arguments about all the time.
Agreed.
On here, about them sort of tapping into this well too much. Well, here we go again, right? And again, people are getting fooled. People just keep getting sucked in there. Like, oh, this is a great idea. Like, and then they complain that there's no new stars coming up. Well, this is kind of the reason.
I agree there. I just think Austin's a different level. Like, I would be fine with the Austin thing, as long as it wasn't something they're going to shove down our throat and the expectation that's going to be this great match. I think him versus KO would be great. I think it would give KO an opportunity to propel himself.
Sure.
The guy gets the shit end of the stick, and you could argue his ability to wrestle however you want. I don't really care, but I like him. And I'd be curious to see how that goes. But on another level,
Mhm.
let's talk about some other matches here, because we could
Okay.
talk about
All right.
Austin all day, and
We'd be stuck on this.
let's just wait and
We'll have a
see.
WrestleMania preview episode, and
Yeah,
we're going to talk more about this once we
yeah.
have more information.
What about, there's a rumor, and I get the feeling this is going to happen. So AJ Styles doesn't have a match,
Mm-hmm.
but he's pushing for him versus Edge. I think that match would
That'd be
be
great.
an awesome match.
That'd be great. And
Yeah.
what I like about that, 2 older guys.
Yep.
AJ Styles is towards the twilight of his
Yep.
career, as is Edge, doing his kind of legend thing, just in and out. I think that's perfect. It's they can have a banger for 20 minutes, and then we move on. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it.
Me too. I think that would be a really good one. I think that match would have a ability to actually steal the show with 2 older guys, believe it or not.
No,
I'm just looking at some of the matches that might happen. Curious to see what they do with Seth Rollins. Like,
maybe
where's
Cody.
So
Good.
I was so ding,
Does
ding,
this
ding.
transition us to some AEW stuff?
Transition. All right.
All right.
So
all right.
what's the deal? What's the deal, man? What's going on here?
I
Listen,
like your Jerry
AEW,
Seinfeld here. What's the deal with Cody?
Yeah, what's the deal here? I mean, is this the first riff in AEW that we've seen? Like, what?
I don't know, man.
How do you take
I don't
a
know what to
founder?
believe.
Yeah, I don't either. Is it money? Is it just like, hey, look, guys, it made me an offer I can't refuse? You know, is it that type?
I mean, that's
of
very
deal?
true, but I think maybe he just all of these rumors are saying that he didn't like where it was going, and it was different than how it was when they first started it, and that's why Cody decided that it was time for him to go. But I mean, there could be some validity to that, because at the time when AEW first started, he was arguably one of the biggest stars they had. I mean, they had Kenny Omega,
wasn't
they
a
had
question,
John
yeah.
Moxley, they had Chris Jericho.
Jericho was probably the biggest, and
but
then
like when you're talking about people that were known, yeah, Jericho was probably the biggest, but then Cody would be in that conversation too, because AEW is fairly unproven at the time. So I think they needed to have some guys from bigger companies, like, but as it's gone on and it's caught traction and people have wanted to go there, it's gotten bigger and bigger stars. So Cody found himself in the same position that he was in WWE, which is kind of interesting. And I think he really didn't like that very much. I think he enjoyed the perception that he was a bigger star than he was.
But he's not going to get that from WWE, man.
I know. Listen, I think maybe he has a new insight into the business, so that he approaches WWE in a different way than last time. He maybe doesn't have these expectations that he's somehow going to find himself like in main events and wrestling Brock Lesnar or even Reigns at this point. I think a lot of his focus is outside of wrestling, to be honest. I think he's trying to become more of that kind of entertainer, working on these shows, the
That's a good point,
show.
Mike.
I think that's part of it. So for him, if he can have some fun and you know, maybe hook up with Miz when he gets back, if those guys are friends in real life, it would make sense for that to be something that they do. And it doesn't look like Brandy's following him, but it could be.
I bet you it is. I've heard rumors that it's going to be Logan Paul, which I would be disappointed with that. I hate that guy, and I know you do too. So,
yeah.
But here's the thing about Cody that what made Cody popular, I think, was that he was kind of this word gets overused a lot, but he led the revolution against WWE.
Yeah.
Like, think about it, right? He would be, if you're going to say like, who's the anti-WWE people, I think you could put him up there with the CM Punks of the world. And he went so far, but he went so far as to start a company against them. And then he comes in the first pay-per-view, destroys a throne, basically symbolizing, hey, we're stopping what WWE is doing. You know, I mean, he did it against Triple H, which I would argue that Triple H is anti-WWE himself at the moment. So
at this point, Triple H might be questioning some decisions.
But so it almost seems like he's selling out. I'm not saying he is. I understand it
Sure,
to
sure.
some degree, but like I think that's what made him popular is that these people who wanted to go back to some wrestling and not just sports entertainment looked at these guys and were like, these guys are trying. Like
Mhm.
they're literally starting from scratch, and he was kind of the head of that with some of these guys. And now all of a sudden, for him to go back to WWE, it almost looks like, okay, well, what's going on here? And I'm curious to see. And especially he's going. So his last match was a fantastic ladder match, by the
It was
way.
great.
Yeah, but he was getting booed left and right.
Yeah.
So he was almost getting the Rock treatment when he came back from Hollywood the first time. So I'm curious
How
to see
dare
how.
you sully The Rock's name by
I'm
putting
just saying
Cody
he
Rhodes
did
in the
though,
same conversation as
but
him?
it's not like he did anything wrong. And then all of a sudden, what happened? People didn't like him. It was
Yeah.
just. It's not like the guy was taking over AEW or anything. He
Dude,
hadn't even been AEW
it-
champion.
no, and it's the one thing they did right was they kept that stipulation.
Yeah.
He lost to Jericho and then he couldn't do it again.
Yep.
But for a guy who was trying to move so far away from being quote
That's it.
unquote the Triple H of AEW,
Yeah.
he came off like he was really trying to be the Triple H of AEW. And like there was just something that got lost in translation there.
Does
And
does
I
Tony
wonder if,
Khan have a daughter? That's the real question.
you know, it was so weird. And I don't know. I can't like just like take all these rumors as fact. So I don't know about his attitude backstage or any of that. Like I can't treat that as gospel here.
No, I
But
know.
you know, maybe that sort of loss in translation ended up causing some rift backstage. Who knows? I have no
Yeah,
idea.
that's all dirt
I have
sheet
no idea.
stuff.
It's all
That's
just like
all. Yeah,
conjecture.
it's all dirt sheet stuff, and
Yeah, yeah.
we
Which
try
is
not to get too much into that because I think we all enjoy the wrestling part of it. But as fans on anything, like you hear rumors, like you always want to see the next thing. For me, it's the anticipation, right? Does
yeah.
the anticipation and the hype live up to the actual event? And I'll be truthful with you. For the most part, AEW has lived up
I
to
agree.
what they do, and they're not always going to hit. They hit far more than WWE right
Mhm.
now, and you can see the efforts. You could see what's going on in AEW. Does this change the brand for me? No, not at
No, not
all.
at all.
But I think what you're starting to see is what we kind of all predicted. Like they got all these wrestlers there. They're taking them all in. There's not enough time for all of them. And I'll give them credit. They have certainly managed their time pretty good for what
Mhm.
they have.
Mhm.
Is it perfect? No, but
Right. Right.
they've done a good job, and I'm still excited. Like
Like
CM
dude,
Punk,
yeah.
MJF,
You
great
read my mind.
rivalry,
You read my mind. I've
great
been
rivalry,
they're doing that really well, and I'm looking
beyond
forward to
well.
this dog collar match that they're gonna have.
Yeah, I don't know that they even needed a dog collar match, but
Screw
again,
it.
I'm an MJF homer, and you can hate the guy all you want and say, hey, look, he goes against everything I believe, and that's completely fine. But dude, he puts eyeballs on himself, and it's like, dude, I loved when they had the celebration after he won
Mhm.
against CM Punk. He didn't win a title, and he comes out on a throne, and they have
Right.
them
Just
reading
completely
it, dude.
exaggerated his win.
That's the shit I love. Like,
Right.
good for him, and he's selling it
Mhm.
so good, and
It's great.
it's awesome. And their wrestling, has lived up to some degree. Listen, they're not putting on 5-star matches right now, but I don't think that's their rivalry, right? Their
Well, hey
rivalry
man,
is on
that
the mic.
dude, that match that they had, it must have been a week or two ago.
Yeah,
I thought it was what, like almost a 40-minute match. Like it was
yeah,
a good match. They
yeah,
told a really good story.
yeah.
I appreciated it.
Oh, me too.
Another thing that I like that they're kind of doing is this weird like civil war amongst the elite. With
Yeah.
Adam Cole has become sort of a linchpin here because
Yep.
he's had a foot in both worlds,
Yep.
and now he's brought the Undisputed Era guys,
Yep.
sans Roderick Strong,
Yeah.
to AEW, and then he has his super click with the Young Bucks, and it's really interesting to see where this is going to go. And the fact that they got Jay White coming over from
Yep.
New Japan and Impact, I mean, that guy's been all over the place
Yeah.
and just had a stellar match over the weekend at the No Surrender pay-per-view. But anyway, I'm very interested, and my big question is like, where does Omega fit in once he comes back?
I mean,
Because
let's
he's sort of
put
the
it this
ultimate
way.
leader here.
Let's put it this way. Adam Cole versus Hangman is going to be a banger. It's
It's gonna
going to
be a
be a
good match.
banger, man. And Adam Cole is really thriving, and he hasn't even had
Mhm.
that many matches here. And I can
Yeah.
just see him becoming
I'm
you're right.
yeah
A linchpin's the best way to put it, but
yeah. He's
I
becoming a linchpin.
I can see him really propelling here, and I just think him versus Hangman is going to be a great match. Hangman goes underrated, but he
Hmm.
puts on some really good matches, man.
He's like a subdued champion. He comes out. He's not very flashy with his
Nope.
promos, but it does feel very authentic. Like the guy's
Yeah.
just telling you how he's feeling.
Yeah.
Like I liked it was a couple of weeks ago when he walked out and he was sort of upset that he hasn't defended the title that much.
Yeah.
And that like endeared him to the crowd. They were like, "Oh yeah,
Of
like you
course.
haven't." So we should
Yeah.
get more of these title matches.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for that. The rivalry though that you see with CM Punk and
Hmm.
MJF, it's rivalries that get me interested. It's not the ones that have no meaning behind them, like we see all the time with no direction. Like
Right.
that's where they've made a big difference here, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. Like where, and you asked me, where does Omega fit into this?
Hmm.
How do you not have a triple threat match at some point with Cole and Hangman and Omega? That would be shit. Make it a 4-way with Brian Danielson, dude. That match would be off the charts,
Yeah.
dude.
I know,
Off the
and
charts.
isn't that weird? Another thing that's getting lost in this is like Brian Danielson has been killing it
Oh,
since he got into
dude,
AEW. Like his
crush it.
promos are awesome. His match work is just spectacular. And something else I'm interested in is this whole thing with Moxley. Like, are they going to join forces, or is it likely just going to lead to a match at Revolution? Which it seems like that's probably where it's going to go. But I've enjoyed it. I think one thing that I've have AEW's built up some credibility for me, and the credibility is we can have these bigger stars working with some of the guys that are like AEW originals. Well, let's say these younger guys, and you can trust the storytelling and the decision making to actually have those younger guys, end up stronger coming out of that feud than weaker.
Yep.
And I think that you're seeing that with MJF. I think you're seeing that with guys like Lee Moriarty too. The fact that Brian Danielson is sort of including these guys, there's a reason for that. It's a way to nurture them, give them a rub, and they're trying not to like bury them even inadvertently. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to be perfect at it, but thus far, I think they've done a really good job of maintaining that balance of
Yeah.
having these star powers, these high star powered guys, along with the young guys, and
Yeah.
not ruining them.
Let's put it this way. We could go through the roster of WWE and look at WrestleMania and be like, hey, what would be a really good match that you want to see?
Mm-hmm.
We named one with Edge and AJ Styles. But I mean, you could arguably look at the AEW roster and be like, hey, what are some matches you want to see? And you could literally rattle off a dozen plus matches and be like, I'd be excited for this. I'd
Dude,
be
we're
excited for
getting
that.
some of them at Revolution.
That's what I
I mean,
mean, though.
we've had it's almost going to be March, and it's been basically a year-long feud between DMD and Thunder Rosa since
Yep.
they had that lights out match for the St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
The St. Patrick's Day show.
Yep.
They've carried that feud over, like they've sprinkled it in throughout the whole year, and nobody's forgotten about it.
Nope.
It's been remarkable.
Yeah.
And like that's long-term storytelling.
You know what else I can't wait for, Mike?
What?
The Strutting from Gorilla Crew will be going to AEW. We will be invading Dynamite and Rampage. And I can't wait. And you know what? I'll be honest. Like I wouldn't have hated a Cody Rhodes match. He puts on some good matches, but honestly, it just takes one guy out that I couldn't do with or without. So we have a better chance of seeing something good happening.
Yeah.
All I hope is they have some sort of hardcore match. I just want one. That's it.
You just
they've
want
had plenty.
one lights out match.
They've had plenty. I just want one while we're there. That's it.
I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it, and
it'll be awesome.
I think we're gonna have to do something special for that with maybe having a live episode or something, or maybe we film a ride along.
Yep.
On our way down to the show.
Maybe we do. I'm excited for it. So, I mean, whew, I mean, we hit on some
We've
serious
hit on a
points.
lot today.
We did.
Let's finish up today. Unless you have any other AEW thoughts, let's finish up with showing Impact some love.
Yeah, go for it. I think
Okay.
we should. They don't. We always talk about the big two, but there's more.
Impact is like forever the little engine that could. I
Yeah.
mean, since 2002 when they were TNA, everyone was saying how they'll be closed in 10 years, and look at them now. They're still chugging along, and they're kind of killing it right now.
Yeah.
They just had their No Surrender pay-per-view the same day as Elimination Chamber. I have been working my way through it so far, but I was able to see some of the results obviously on the Twitter machine and everything. Uh, they've been putting on really good shows. One thing that they've been doing is this invasion type angle with Ring of Honor, and there's basically this faction that's there from a lot of the Ring of Honor guys, and they just had I think Eddie Edwards just sort of turned on Impact and joined Ring of Honor. So they're actually, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but they are doing an invasion angle better than WWE did the invasion angle.
It's not hard.
I'm telling you, it's well, one, all the stars from Ring of Honor are actually around. So like when you bring them over, you're not bringing like your B and C guys, like you're bringing
Buff Bagwell.
Yeah, exactly. There's no Buff Bagwells of Ring of Honor coming over. But I think it's really good. And Maria Kanellis, dude, she's a fantastic promo. She is basically the mouthpiece for that whole group and absolutely crushes it. I've really enjoyed her work. And something else that Impact has done, and I'll always just wave this flag for them of being really great ambassadors for women's wrestling. They had something new this year for this show, which was alternative commentary for the No Surrender pay-per-view. You could buy it on Fight, and basically what it was is it's the pay-per-view, but it has commentary with an all-female booth. So it had SoCal Val, Tara, aka Victoria, when she was in WWE, and I believe it was Brooke Adams. So it was interesting. Like it's a whole different sort of format for them. Like they don't do necessarily like play by play, but
is it similar to like the Peyton Manning Monday Night Football commentary?
It's kind of like that, yeah. And granted, this is the first time they're doing it, so I can't like judge it right off the bat because they're going to need time to sort of refine it as they keep doing it. But I think that's a really good move, and I'm surprised other wrestling companies haven't tried that. Alternative commentaries where you can have different sets of people commenting on the show, and you might get different insights and just a different feel for the show with that. So I'm glad that they're willing to experiment with it, and quite frankly, I mean, it's a long fucking overdue here. Let's get a female booth then, huh?
Let's be realistic. That opens up the door for me and you, right? Like we could, I think we're gonna have an alternate commentary for the
starting from Gorilla.
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you, we would be straight fire if we were on a WWE commentary alternative. Like it would just be
we'd be bleeping out Vito
oh
so
god,
many times.
Oh dude, you would see another side of us. I think it would just be straight anger.
Not a side that we're proud of, but. So, I again, just wanted to show Impact a little bit of love. I think they've been doing really great work, and it shows. They have a really great women's division. I like the rivalry that they have going on with Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder, and Jordan Grace for the Digital Media Championship. So they've been having a ton of intergender matches, and it's been really good.
Yeah. No, listen, here's the thing. I think AEW started this. So, there was only one show in town, right? At one point, it was WWE, and I think there was just such this hatred for everything at some point, and no matter what promotion you were in, it was difficult to gain any headway. And I think that AEW has gained a lot of headway, and it's really kind of motivated these other especially with the Forbidden Door piece where they've been on AEW, it's kind of motivated these other promotions and these wrestlers to be like, hey, look, there's a chance. And so you see the hard work and like that, the desire and to be at a level like that. And it's going back to the territory days when people would bust their ass just to be known, and now you're seeing some of that again, and it's really like wrestling's in a good spot right now,
Mhm.
and I'll give a lot of credit to AEW for that being what it is, because competition is always good. And
Yeah. And I think they've had a good ripple effect on Impact as well. It's gotten some of
exactly,
their guys more notoriety. And
yep,
this has come back to when we had our conversation with Vinny. He talked about how nice it is to sort of like come across wrestlers that you don't really know, and then you start looking them up, and then you're following them on Twitter, and then you're
hmm
getting more invested in them. This is happening now. You're watching Impact, you're like, oh, who the hell is that guy? And then I'm looking up Trey Miguel because he has like reminders of Ricochet to me with his in-ring work.
yep,
But the guy's phenomenal. He's a great athlete, but he's
yep,
someone that I wouldn't have really paid attention to if I wasn't finding myself interested in Impact again. So this
correct,
is cool.
yeah,
It's good for the world of wrestling.
yep, great for wrestling. I love all of it, and you know what? I don't have to watch WWE, I'll be fine, but it draws me in every time,
I know.
so whatever. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
That's your toxic relationship.
It is, but I'm a loyal guy, Mike,
I
and
can tell.
I've always been loyal to. I was a WWF guy over WCW, even though I enjoy WCW, but it's difficult to go against them. It's
Mm.
difficult to go against WWF or WWE at the
One day
moment.
we'll get a memoir from you about what it was like to watch Vince go through the steroid trials. I'm sure that must have
Yep,
been really hard for you.
it was hard. Yeah, it was really hard. I was on edge for a number of years when that happened. Yeah, you know, but
Yeah,
hey, it is what it is. But I do think, we had, we always ask for feedback here
we
at
do ask
Starting
for
from
feedback.
Gorilla. We do, and we appreciate all feedback. It could be good, it could be bad. We certainly try hard. I can give you that. Um, but I know we had a little bit of feedback, right, on our
Yeah,
socials.
yeah, yeah. We
This
did. All right. So uh, we're sharing it out that we had a new episode out, the McFoley episode, and well, one of the friends of the podcast and personal friend of Mikey Cash, Jimmy S, decided to flap his gums, run his mouth, whatever he wanted to do, saying that we neglected to give Foley credit for his Hall of Fame caliber sounds during his matches. And if you're not aware of it, it's the hasha when he's like hitting guys, like he makes these like weird noises, or sometimes when he was Mankind, he would squeal during matches. It was odd stuff, but it just made his character. So in some way, one way, Jimmy's right. We didn't talk about that. But to be fair, Jimmy, you are a jabroni. And if you comment again on Strutting from Gorilla's page and run your mouth like you do, The Rock is going to take his left boot and his right boot, turn them some bitches sideways, and stick them straight up your candy ass. So I'd like to give you a direction, the complaint department. I got a trash can right next to me. So the next time you have anything you want to say, you give it to The Rock and he'll put it right in there. So shut your mouth, jabroni.
See, and I think that's great feedback from the Strutting from
Wonderful.
Gorilla crew.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe, this is just me, that you can criticize a show without listening to the show. So that's
Well, I
my
feel like you're
feedback
getting
number
more
one.
heated than me.
Well, I'm just saying, like, hey, I apologize we didn't talk about someone's grunting. It's really not a topic we really get into around here. But I appreciate the feedback. That's his opinion. Maybe we'll incorporate it into the next show. But before you say how bad the show was or the episode was, I just think you should listen to it to understand that. That's all. What do I know?
I think
I
we should
wouldn't
get
know how
Jimmy
bad.
on. I think
I
at some
wouldn't.
point we got to get him on.
That's
You,
fine. He can come on
you
anytime he
guys
wants.
can hash it out and I'll moderate.
But here's the thing. I can't say Elimination Chamber sucked if I didn't watch Elimination Chamber.
True.
That's just it's not kosher. So
Mm.
we'll see. But yeah, maybe one day, he can go one-on-one with the great ones and see what it's like to be out here on the hot seat. It's not as easy as you think. But we appreciate the feedback. And hopefully, you get a chance to listen to it and really embrace our love for Mick Foley on our previous episode.
Well, I think we covered everything we wanted to today. So we laid the gauntlet down. Jimmy, you're welcome on the podcast anytime. We'll get you on so you can go one-on-one with Big Vito. But until next time, folks, I think this has been enough for us here from the Gorilla Crew. We're happy that you're with us. And again, keep listening. Find us on the socials. And once again, if you find that you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Until next time, take care, everybody.
We now return your perception of reality to you. Until next time.